Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you are enjoying your Memorial Day. So, first off, happy Memorial Day, everybody. You already know why we're here. We, if you weren't here for Game Six watch along, it was wild. I still can't kind of believe what happened, but Derrick White had the tip in at the buzzer to force Game Seven. Eddie Contreras, cheers! What's going on, Eddie? Appreciate you tuning in. Um, Yeah, so Derek White with the tip in with zero point 0.1 seconds left. Ball goes through the hoop with the buzzer. We got game seven tonight. Series tied 3-3. Back in Boston. And I mean, this game could go, I don't know, 20 different ways because we're in a game seven situation where anything can happen. Just because Miami's on the road doesn't mean they can't win. They won games one and two in Boston. Now, this is going to be a different environment for sure. The same way that the regular season is different from the playoffs, game seven is different from games one through six. Because to start the game, the Celtics crowd is going to be electric. They already are if you're tuned into the broadcast. Like, they've been ready for this since the afternoon. And it's going to be which team, in terms of the heat, can they block out that crowd noise and just play their game? Can the Celtics not get too hyped because of the crowd getting out of their game? Make sure that they execute. That's going to be the keys to start the game. But the matchups are Tatum versus Butler for most of the series. The two of them have been kind of a wash in terms of their point production. The games in where the Celtics have won, most likely their supporting cast of Tatum outperformed Butler's supporting cast in the Heat. The game that kind of bucked the trend was game six because also in the games that the Celtics won, they shot really well from three. The games where they lost, they didn't shoot as well. Plus, the Heat shot really well from three. Well, game six, the Celtics didn't shoot well from three. They still managed to win the game. So both coaches, going into this game seven atmosphere, I guess they could both feel some type of encouragement going into the game. Oh, I don't know what happened there. The Celtics are the only one out of the four to have game seven on their home floor. So that's another interesting, I guess, twist to this story, potentially. Charles Barkley alluded to it at the end of game six. It's cool that they came back from 3-0 to tie it 3-3, but you got to finish the job, win game seven to move on to the finals, which then becomes its own story in this book of these playoffs. So there's a lot at play here. Chance of history, Miami, rebounding from the past three games, potentially upsetting yet another team in the playoffs. That's what Miami has going for them. All while this is happening, you have a Nuggets team that's kind of just been sitting there waiting to see who will faced them. Was it June 1st? Is when Game 1 is. So we're about looks like about 7-8 minutes away from tip off. Hold on here. We got. What are your thoughts on that? On the time thing from Game 6. So looking at Game 6, I understand because yeah, I saw it all on Twitter and TikTok after the game where they're talking about the clock. The issue was the clock that like TNT has is not synced up with the in-game, like the arena clock, like the official score clock. That's one. Two, I guess the moment where they did call the foul, there was like, yes, 3 seconds was on the clock. The other aspect of it was, if you see the replay, Jimmy Butler double dribbled before it. So there was a lot of things going on. You know, I mean, you still got to give Butler credit. A lot of guys in that situation wouldn't have knocked down all 3 free throws, but he did. He stepped to the line and he, stepped up and got it done. So, yeah, the conspiracies or whatever that's going on from certain sections of fans about it, about talking about the refs putting time on the clock for the Celtics and all that. The refs had nothing to do with not boxing out Derrick White, so that's on the Heat. Oh no, I wasn't trying to make it seem like you were trying to like start anything. Yeah, Game 7 is the best phrase in sports. So I'm definitely all here for it. Yeah, but I mean, um, I didn't even say that's Gene. So appreciate you tuning in. 2.4 to 2.8 seconds was what most said it was. Also, the clock didn't start when Smart touched the ball for the game-winning shot. I saw that video as well where somebody like slowed it down to see that because I guess that was also a issue with it. And I mean, look, technically Smart shouldn't get the benefit of that. They were on the road. That's usually a thing that the clock operator does for the home team. But like I said, one, the Heat did really well covering up Tatum and Brown on that. And Smart, look, for just a catch and shoot turnaround three, I actually thought it was going to go in when it was on the rim. But the wherewithal for Derrick White to inbound the ball, crash the boards when he knew, one, he wasn't getting the pass back from Smart. And then two, because nobody was kind of paying attention to him. Like, that shows you the type of heady player that Derrick White is. Acid Waste 0725 sup, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. For those of you in the chat that haven't subscribed to my channel or follow me or anything like that, feel free to do so right now before the game starts. I'm gonna drop you a follow. I appreciate that, Acid Waste. I'm just so let you all know I am a Celtics fan, but if you haven't seen the previous, I did 5 of the 6 games so far. Game 4 I couldn't do, but I keep it real with my team and I give Heat credit where it's due. So I'm a try not to be a homer. It may slip out every once in a while, but So Acid Waste, let's go. Yes, I cannot wait. From what they've shown inside the arena, this Celtics crowd is ready to blow the roof off the building. And I'm here for it. All right. Yeah, so also Acid Waste says go Celtics. Yep. That's where I'm at with it as well. Eddie Contreras. I noticed Butler and company seem a bit better this year for whatever reason. Well, I think what's happened is, they had an underwhelming season. They they were the 7th seed going into the playing tournament, lost that game to the Hawks, became the 8th seed by beating Toronto. And I think they kind of just took the underdog approach. Their players were gaining confidence through the playoffs. They knocked off the Bucks. That was definitely a reason to elevate their game. They went up against a Knicks team that I feel like the Heat were probably evenly matched with, but through that series we kind of knew that the Knicks weren't ready for that stage, so the Heat took advantage of that. And then based off the first 3 games of this series, it really looked like the Heat had all the confidence in the world. But then since then, 4-5 out of the question, because Game 6, the Heat played definitely better down the stretch. The fact that they did have the lead at the end, just minus the 3 seconds, just let you know how close this series was to being over. 8:28. Yes, I was just gonna say, what is that? Yeah, that's the time. So we're a couple minutes away. Are you going to stream the game? I mean, all I can do is put a scoreboard up. If I show video, I think that violates rules, whatever. So, although I am kind of new to this streaming stuff. I've seen some people kind of put the game up, and I'm just like, how do you get to do that? But I don't know. I see they also benefit from yellow, nothing to lose. That's always the tricky thing when a favorite goes against an underdog team. Maybe you don't come out early in the series playing your best. The worst thing is a confident underdog. And like I said, Celtics are on the brink to getting swept. But they've seemingly turned it around. But now tonight they have to get that 4th win. Because, yes, it's easy to get to 3 wins, but that closeout game is usually the toughest game to get. But now both teams are in the same situation where, the Heat have had 3 shots at getting a closeout and haven't done it yet. So let's see what's going on. Sturdy Spider says what's up to the chat. What's going on, Sturdy Spider? Eddie Contreras, yep. Sturdy Spider, what's up again? What's going on, chat? Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't followed or subscribed, please do so. If you're a YouTube viewer, I have a podcast that's on my channel over there as well. Twitch, you'll usually get the play-by-plays and a few live episodes I've done. Plus, I'm going to start doing some gaming streams and stuff like that. But play-by-plays and watch-alongs will continue. Probably going, I might do some MLB games. Sturdy Spider followed. Appreciate that. NFL season, I'll definitely try to do some games as well. Like I said, have a lot of fun doing these, especially, you guys in the chat. What's going on, Miles? So who do you guys have winning tonight? If you want to throw a score prediction or who wins conference finals MVP, feel free to throw that in the chat as well. In my opinion, so this is Lucas. I'm not even going to try that last name because I'll probably butcher it. But in my opinion, it's getting really hard for the Heat if Celtics have a good shooting night from. Yes, that's kind of been the trend of this series. Celtics shoot well, Heat really struggle. Now, Game 6, they struggled shooting from 3, and they still won, but we know it came down to the tip-in. So I think with this atmosphere, what I'm looking for is the Celtics to come out really quickly, try to get on transition, keep the crowd energy up, because that can only help you the longer that they're more involved in the game. All right, so Miles is going with the Heat. Okay. For the Heat obviously wouldn't want this game to get out of hand and get too fast for them. So I could see them go in zone a little earlier, try to get some foul calls offensively, get inside the lane, Butler with his up fakes and all that. I have a feeling this game might become physical defensively. Hopefully, with a game 7, these refs kind of let them play a little bit, but we will have to see. Please, hold on. Eddie Contreras weaponized Celtics blows them out. It could definitely go that way. Please put game. Oh, hold on. Where is it? So tip off is about to happen. So we got Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, some John whatever guy. Scott Foster and Tony Foster, I've heard of them. Some people have their, thoughts on the referee crew. I just want them to let the players kind of just play at this point. It's a game 7. Hold on. So actually, like I said, I can't play the game because if I put the stream on, I think that's copyright and all that. I don't know. Yeah, so as at least right now, that's like all I can do, like I said. But yeah, so the first play, the Celtics got the copyright my balls. Well, I mean, for somebody who trying to make it in the streaming industry, I kind of have to worry about copyright. You think Tatum is hurt? Yes, like I was saying, first drive he ended up landing on Vincent's leg. That's a pretty bad roll. Yeah, I agree with that. We'll have to see if that affects him. But at least for now, you can kind of run off of adrenaline. So he made the first free throw, missed the second one. Got Martin bringing it up across half court. Jaylen Brown meets him. They're running Vincent off of a screen. He's got Smart on him. Takes the screen from Adebayo, shoots it. Comes up short. Rebounded by Tatum. He gives it up to Jaylen Brown. Tatum looks like he's wincing a little bit, but he gets into the lane. Misses the shot. Butler with the rebound, heading back the other way. Jaylen Brown meets him. Adebayo comes, sets the screen. Now Butler's got Horford on him. Finds a lane, gets in, gives out to Caleb Martin, gives up to Vincent, who's got Derrick White on him. Tries a step back, comes up short. Tatum with another rebound. Gets it to Jaylen Brown, who's trying to attack the defense early and call a foul on Brown. Lucas put Tatum definitely hurt. Yeah, he's wincing right now. So Adebayo has it up top. They get it to Jimmy Butler, who has Derrick White on him. Butler gets into the lane, pull up. He's long. Horford with the rebound. Horford's bringing it up, gets it to Tatum. Tatum over to Smart. Smart gets it back to Horford. Back to Smart. They get the switch. Now Brown has Strus on him. Pull up. Knocks it in. So it's 3-0 Celtics right now. That was a tough shot by Brown. Strus was on him. Actually made him double clutch on it, but he still made it. Adebayo has it up at the top. Gets it over to Vincent. So far, the defense is playing well. But as you guys have said in the chat, we got to keep seeing how Tatum, can he get through the game? Is he going to have to go maybe to the back, wrap the ankle? I don't know. But Horford with the good finish under the hoop. It's now 5-0. Adebayo's bringing it up, going against Horford, gets to the rim, lays it up and in. Yeah, Tatum still moving a little gingerly. Smart gets it over to Brown, who's up at the half court. Brown's got Strus on him again. Pull up. Knocks it in. Sweaty boy, what's going on? I mean, you said you're going to be here, so appreciate you for tuning in. Eddie put follow shots, crash boards, and wheel KCs. Yep. Butler has it. He's got Horford on him. Hands it off to Strus. Gets it back. Butler gets to the rim. Horford shuts him off. Kicks out to Strus. Strus long. Rebound by Martin. He puts it back up and in with the second chance. So Smart has it. Setting the offense up. Derrick White comes over, sets the screen. Now Brown sets one. Smart to Brown. We've seen that play a few times this series. Kind of set the screen at the top. The guy slips it. Smart with the smart bounce pass for the easy layup. Adebayo comes back the other way, misses the shot. Tatum tips it to Smart. Smart tried to go backdoor to Brown, but Martin read it. Now it's coming back the other way, 2-on-1. I don't know what Martin was doing there. That was a terrible fast break by the Heat. So Derrick White back the other way. We need the same defense from Adebayo's game 6, says Sweaty Boy. That would definitely help Miami's case. So Derrick White with the pull-up 3, rims it out, rebounded by Martin. So they're coming back the other way, gets it to Adebayo, who faces up Al Horford, gets into the lane. They call a foul on the floor. So 7:15 to go. It's 9-4 Celtics. So Sweaty Boys are now coming in. So far, we've been looking at Tatum. He rolled his ankle on the first play, landing on Gabe Vincent. And we're going to see if that affects him over the course of this quarter or half or whatever. Strus missed the 3. Celtics with the rebound. Brown gets into the lane. Looking for the foul. No call there. Gets it to Adebayo, who kicks it out to Martin in the corner for 3. He misses it. Smart with the rebound. And Missoula calls timeout. Who was there when Tatum fell? Yeah, so the first possession, Tatum went up on the baseline. Vincent was playing defense on him. Vincent went to the floor as Tatum was coming down. Tatum stepped on Vincent's foot, rolled his left ankle, and has been wincing several times through this first quarter. But he's out there. He's gotten some rebounds. He's tried to run the floor a little bit. As I said when it happened, it's Game 7. He's got a lot of adrenaline right now. So that's going to help him for a bit. We'll have to see when. I was wondering why the game was 1-0. Yeah, so he went to the free throw line and made one, missed one. The thing will be if Missoula pulls him and he sits on the bench for a little bit, what will that do? The first moment he takes him out, does he go back to the locker room, maybe get it taped up? Does he just play through it? We'll have to see. Yeah, so how's everybody doing? For those of you just tuning in, hopefully you're enjoying your Memorial Day. What's better than Game 7 on Memorial Day? I can't think of anything else. Sweaty Boy said the Heat need to stop forcing threes. I would say that, but I think for the Heat, though, the first 3 games, they were shooting lights out from three. I feel like for the Heat, they want to reestablish that and then hope maybe it opens up everything else for them. Not sure. But I mean, if you're going to have, Struce, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, guys like that in the court, they're mostly perimeter players. And I think for the Heat, it can work with those guys, but Butler's going to have to be aggressive getting into the lane and kicking it out to those guys. Uh, Sturdy Spider, he can't. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sturdy Spider keeps asking me to show the game. Yes, I can't. That's copyright and all that. Cheese, cranberries, almonds, appetizers. Okay. Oh, did not mean to show that. Yeah. Yeah, Sweaty Boy, let him know. I can't. Sturdy Spider says, why not? Yeah, copyright. I'm just getting started with all this. You trying to get me copyright claimed already? I mean, I get it, Sturdy Spider. I would love to show the game and still give you this insight stuff. I'd love to, but I can't. I'm watching it and listening to the stream. Appreciate that, Sweaty Boy. And Sturdy Spider, my bad. No, you good. All right, so we're back from timeout. Let's see. No changes to the lineup for either team yet. The Heat are now in zone. Derrick White got bumped, gets it to Horford down low to Smart in the corner for three. Long with that one. Struce tips it to Martin. Gets it up to Vincent. So Vincent gets the screen from Adebayo with the pull-up. Knocks it in. Marcus Smart back the other way. It's now 9-6, 6:15 to go in the first quarter. White gets over to Smart. Gets a screen from White. Now a screen from Horford. White's got Adebayo on him. Goes over the top to Horford. Try to get it to Tatum. Tatum back out to Smart. Smart gets into the lane. Out to White for three. That's long. Horford with the rebound. Out to Tatum. Gets over to White again for three. He missed that one. Struce with the foul on the floor. Pushing the back on Tatum on the rebound. So, Eddie, boy, you know how that was a foul. Come on now. Struce ain't trying to battle under the boards like that. So Brogdon coming in. We'll see how he's doing because he's missed last game with the forearm, elbow, whatever the injury that he has. So Jaylen Brown pulls up over Vincent, rims out. Martin with the rebound gets it to Butler. See what the Heat do on this possession. Butler's going to get the screen from Adebayo. We know how this offense goes. Adebayo loses it off his knee. Adebayo could have got that and dunked it. He could have. So Tatum brings it up. Tatum looks like he's moving around a little bit better. So Brogdon has it. It's got Struce on, gets it back to Brown. Brown loses the handle. Butler back the other way. Gets it to go. So it's now 9-8. Already under 5 minutes to go in the first. Gets it to Tatum. Out to Horford for three. Long on that one. Since when Horford can shoot. Horford shot. Blocked by Brown. Horford shot 42% from three in the regular season. So White out to Horford. Up fakes Martin. over to Jaylen Brown. Misses the three. Tatum with the rebound. Out to Derrick White. White in the lane. Pull up. Knocks it in. I think if you're Strus there, they call a foul on Brogdon bumping Strus. But I think if you're Strus in that situation, do you necessarily need to get up faked by Al Horford? So it's 11-8, 4:11 to go in the first. Heat side out of bounds, about to inbound it. So Martin has it, gets it out to LeBron, won the Heat a title. Yes. Out to Martin for three, knocks it in. So it's 11-11, 3:55 in the first. White has the ball, setting up the offense. Gets a screen from Brown and Rob. Gets over to Brogdon. Brogdon for three. He's short. Tatum's on the bench. He didn't go in the back. So seems like he's good. Yeah, nobody's looking at his ankle or anything right now. Okay, so Butler is going to bring the ball up. Strus gets a screen from Adebayo. He's got Rob Williams on him. Out to Strus for three. Knocks it in. 14-11 Heat. Jaylen Brown coming across. Gets the screen from Rob. Gets into the lane. Kicks out to Grant. Fumbled it out of bounds. Okay, so the Heat will inbound the ball. They got a 3-point lead right now. So Butler has it. Gets the screen from Adebayo. Over to Martin. Butler's got Rob Williams on him. He's trying to go to the hoop. Pull up. Knocks it in. All right, here comes Brogdon back the other way. Brogdon has Adebayo on him. He's dribbling, looking for some action in offense. Gets out to Brown. Strus is there. And they called I think, trip on Kyle Lowry. Now, you guys know how I feel about Kyle Lowry. I didn't even notice he was in the game, and first thing he does is trip Jaylen Brown on his way to the hoop. I mean, Sweaty Boy, I know you're the Heat fan. Like, what do you think about Kyle Lowry? I mean, I get it. You know, Vincent's young, unproven, whatever. You know, Lowry, I'm assuming, is supposed to be like a veteran presence, but I think he's kind of washed. I feel like Kyle Lowry need to sign back to the Raptors. I mean, what the Raptors are probably going through. Oh, sorry. You're not a Heat fan. That's right. You just support them. Yeah, you said that last game. My fault. But yeah, I doubt Toronto would want Kyle Lowry back, to be honest with you. I mean, speaking of Toronto, Nick Nurse, new coach of the Sixers. Kind of interesting. I mean, we'll see what the Sixers look like next season. I heard Jimmy Butler's going to the Warriors. I have not heard that. For some reason, that doesn't seem like something Jimmy Butler would do. Sturdy Spider, I want Giannis on the Warriors. I mean, do you think if Giannis were to make a move like that, would he get the same backlash as KD? Even though I know situations are different, you know, KD lost to them in the playoffs, then went to the Warriors. But would Giannis going to the Warriors be seen as a cupcake move? I don't know. I think it'd be weird to see Giannis in Golden State. Sweaty Boy says, I couldn't see Giannis on the Warriors. I couldn't either. And Sweaty Boy, yes, says Giannis can stay with the Bucks. Yeah, I think at this point, Giannis is just a Buck. I mean, that'd be wild if they, move on from like Draymond Green and here comes Giannis. So Sweaty Boy, no, Jimmy said his top team would be the Warriors. Okay, that's interesting. Eddie Contreras, Lowry's moving off ball is special, but his apparent lack of self-control makes him more risky to me. Okay. I see what you're saying there. That's true. Off the ball, he does have some good movement. My issue was, it seemed like with each game progressively in this series, offensively, he seemingly, gives them less and less. Sweaty Boy says Kyle have a lot of problems. What you mean? You have a lot of problems? I guess I would need to know more. All right, so we are back. Brown is at the free throw line for 2. Knocks home the first. Lowry is washed. Yes. I mean, I guess I don't know washed, but his days as a starter playing significant minutes, I think, are over. I think he's a bench guard at this point. Brown knocks home the second. So it seems like during the break, they took a point from the Heat. So I guess some 3 was ruled a 2. I don't think I've heard them explain what happened. Butler gets to the rim. He hesitated, which gave Robert Williams a chance to get back in the play, and he ended up getting his shot blocked. Smart step back 3, missed it. So Butler with the next rebound. He has Jaylen Brown on him. Tries an up fake. Brown doesn't go for it. Lowry for 3. Nope. Williams with the rebound, gets it to Brogdon. Brogdon getting to the rim. Now the Heat going back the other way. I think the previous possession, I don't know if you want Lowry taking deep threes like that. But Martin did get a bucket there, so it's now 18-13. 1:23 to go in the first. Brown gets into the lane, puts it up short. Rob Williams on the boards, battles, gets it, tips it out, over to Smart. Smart gets into the lane, lobs it to Rob, puts it in. 18-15, a minute to go. Butler's got Smart on him. Adebayo sets a screen. Yep. Butler gets to the hoop, lays it up and in. He had a little hesitation. Rob bit a little bit, and Butler went around him and went straight to the rim. It's now 20-15. So Brown has it in the corner. Pull up over Martin. He's long with it. Rebounding, gets it to Lowry. Lowry in transition. He almost got in trouble there, Lowry, but he was able to turn his head and found Strus dive into the hoop. So it's now 22-15. Heat got 20 seconds. So Brown gets a screen, gets it back over to Smart. Smart's got a bio on him, gets it back to Brown. Brown puts the move, gets to the hoop, gets to the lane, off the front of the rim. Butler with it, puts it up at the buzzer. No good. both teams loosening up a bit. Let's see who makes a run. I agree with you, Eddie. That's kind of what this series has been for the most part. Teams going on run after run. But that's a good first quarter if you are a Heat fan or Heat supporter like Sweaty Boy. It's 22-15, end of the first quarter, Heat with a 7-point lead. So this game has kind of resembled some earlier games where we saw the minutes where Tatum wasn't on the floor and the Heat went into zone. The Celtics kind of settled from the perimeter a little bit, and they haven't been able to find their perimeter shot yet in this game, which is definitely playing into the Heat's hand right now. So we'll see if maybe the mentality changes a little bit in the second quarter, where we see the Celtics try to get to the rim a little bit more, or maybe a couple of guys can knock down some threes, and maybe that just kind of gets everybody going. But I also think, I didn't mention before the game, with the Heat coming in as a road team, you want to try to take the crowd out of it. You don't want to let the Celtics just have this free-flowing offense and the crowd continue to stay in it. The, adverse to that for the home team is sometimes you get too hyped and maybe you take yourself out of your rhythm. Maybe that's what happened in the first quarter with all those perimeter shots. So now that the quarter's done, like Eddie said, both teams can kind of loosen up and just get back into the game right now. So that's definitely a good first quarter for the Heat. Celtics have to tighten up a little bit offensively. Yeah, so how's everybody doing in the chat? What are your thoughts on the first quarter so far? All right, just still got some commercials going here. Yeah, kind of like I said, watching it from the Celtics end, it seems like Brogdon still isn't right. And I give it up to him for trying to play, but I mean, if he doesn't have the strength in the elbow and all that to get his perimeter shots, then if he's going to be on the court, he's got to look to get to the rim. Yeah, Brown had a couple of turnovers, like you said, Eddie, where he was loose with the ball. That's also one of the issues when Tatum isn't necessarily on the floor. Because, like, Brown, he has some handles, but sometimes it gets a little loose and he has careless turnovers. So that's something you definitely don't want in a Game 7 situation as well. So we are back. It's 22-15. So to reset the lineups here, we got Adebayo, Robinson, Vincent, Lowry, and Highsmith is in the game for the Heat. Celtics, you got Tatum, Williams, Brogdon, Horford, Smart. Brogdon had an open three at the top, and he missed it. Lowry gets a screen from Adebayo. Step back, pull up, short. Brogdon and Highsmith went for the rebound. It was off of Brogdon, so Heat ball. Lowry inbounds it to Adebayo. Handoff with Duncan Robinson. Off the screen, pull up three, knocks it in. Horford needs to step up on that screen. He gave Robinson too much space there. So Brogdon brings it up. Heat are back in their zone. So Brogdon gets it out to Tatum. There's 6 seconds on the shot clock. Tatum trying to do something with it. Highsmith with the good hands. Gets it back from Vincent with the layup and in. It's now 27-15. And Mazzulla with the timeout. Yeah, that's good defense by Highsmith there. That's what Highsmith did in Game 5. I thought it was going to earn Highsmith some minutes in Game 6. For some reason, he didn't play in Game 6 at all. I didn't understand that. And now, Spoelstra's gone to him early, and he's had a good defensive play. Joshua in the chat, appreciate you tuning in. Heat will run out of gas. That could happen. But what we kind of know about this Heat team, and I'm sure what Red Jamil and them will probably start talking about, is the Heat will just need to keep it close late because Butler's a guy who can close out a game for you. I mean, I've been hearing that all day on national TV where they said, the Heat have been better at closing games than the Celtics. All the Heat have to do is be in it at the end, and Butler will take them home. So once again, when the Heat go zone, of course it looks more effective if the Celtics aren't knocking down shots. Because Celtics have had a couple of wide open shots and just haven't made them. Because we know the Heat tried the zone in 5 and 6. More so, well, I guess 4 and 5, sorry. And I think more so Game 5 when the Celtics were kind of hot from 3 and the zone looked terrible. We're still on a commercial break. We'll see what Mazzulla draws up out of the timeout. Because right now the screen isn't working. I mean, the zone isn't working, sorry. And, those of you who played basketball, with the zone, the key is usually to get somebody in the middle of it and work inside out within the zone. I think to start the last possession, Tatum was kind of setting up at the free throw line. And then, he came on the wing to get the ball, but then nobody else kind of replaced him on the inside. So Eddie put, I've seen enough games where Tatum brings it home to feel it is a risk to think either team is comfortable keeping it close. So we will see some wild times. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Even though more seems like a lot of the NBA analysts and stuff are paying attention to Butler's ability to close games. Like Eddie said, we have seen Tatum have some big games in Game 7s or 6s when it's needed. All right, so coming out of this, you got White, open 3, long. So Lowry coming up, picks up his dribble, gets out to Highsmith. Highsmith over to Robinson. Robinson gets it back to Adebayo, who has Smart on him. With the pull up, and he missed it. Smart back the other way. Gets out to Horford. Horford to White. Back to Horford. Horford knocks in the 3. So that's the first 3 of the night for the Celtics. Let's see if that opens it up for them. So Vincent gets it to Adebayo. Adebayo's holding it, looking for somebody to come get it from him. Vincent gets it off the screen by Adebayo. Vincent knocks in the three. All right, Smart has the ball. He gets the screen from Horford and foul by Vincent. But they call it on the floor. So I think Vincent has 2 fouls now. He's going to the bench. All right, Heat back in their zone. Gets it to Horford in the middle. Horford with the face up, goes at Adebayo. Missed it. It's Heat ball. I mean, Robinson had a handful of jersey on that rebound. So Adebayo up top. Gets the screen. Okay. Try to spin move. Smart was right there. Robinson loses the handle, gets it taken away by Brown, and then grabbed his arm. So Adebayo. All right. Smart brings the ball up. Throws the lob to Brown. Brown couldn't get a handle on it. Lowry back the other way over to Martin in the corner for three. Knocks it in. So it's 33-18, 8:23 to go. It's in the corner to Brown. Brown out to White. White gets to the lane. Out to Horford. Over to Brown. So those threes you can live with. That was off ball movement, getting to the rim, kicking out. Back the other way. Lowry has Smart on him. Gets a screen. Knocks in the three. So got 36-21. 7:50 to go in the half. Horford corner for three. Okay, they're showing the last possession. Yeah. I mean, even that possession, Horford had a wide open three. Lowry bringing the ball up. Gets a screen from Highsmith. That was a good pass by Lowry. Hit a cutting Robinson for the layup at the rim. So it's 38-21. 7:25 in the half. Tatum coming down. And they call a foul on Lowry. Well, Lowry's putting his hand up. Well, I thought Lowry had the foul on the Brown play. How's that his first foul? Okay, so then I don't know who the foul was on a few minutes ago on Brown. So Brown gets to the lane, lobs it to Rob, dunks it at the rim. That was a good look by Brown. Adebayo got kind of caught in no man's land, and they lobbed it over the top of him. Lowry back the other way, loses it off his foot. Tatum with the steal, going back the other way, lays it up and in. And we got timeout Spoelstra. I mean, Tatum got the steal there. He was able to outrun Jimmy Butler. Okay, so 38-25, Spoelstra with the timeout after the turnover by Lowry, where he was getting to the lane, trying to seek out contact with Rob Williams and then ended up dribbling it off his own leg, which Tatum picked up and went back the other way for the lay-in. So far, the Heat have been in their zone. They've given up a few open looks. Celtics haven't knocked them down. They knocked down a couple of threes, but not enough, I would say, for the Heat to get out of zone yet. And then for the Heat, they're looking like it could be a game where they shoot well from three. Early in this series, that worked for them. So we'll see, I guess, which. I mean, if the Heat trend continues from the perimeter, they'll look really good in winning this game. If they kind of go into a cold spell, well, we'll see. All right, still in a commercial break. But anybody new tuning in, it is 38-25 Heat right now. Supposed to just call the timeout after Jason Tatum fast break layup off of a turnover where Lowry dribbled it off his foot. And yes, so once again, happy Memorial Day, everybody. We got Game 7 going on here. I mean, if you haven't paid attention to the first 6 games of the series has been crazy. Heat went up 3-0, Celtics won the next 3. And now is winner take all for the chance to face the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals, which would get started on the 1st, which I believe would be Thursday? Maybe. I think that'd be Thursday. But yeah, if you're a Heat fan, you're feeling really good about what's going on right now. For the Celtics, it's been a bit of a struggle from the perimeter. They're down 13 right now. Let's see if they can come out of this timeout, maybe continue, maybe some momentum going on here and go on a little bit of a run of their own. Okay, so we're coming. They're showing the Tatum play again. All right. Reggie Miller talking about the Tatum rolled ankle. Martin on the baseline has Horford on him, gets into the lane, fade away, rolls it in. So Tatum has it, gets a screen from Rob, gets into the lane with a floater, missed it, tipped in by Robert Williams. So it's 40-27. Adebayo brings the ball up over to Martin. Martin gets inside and scores it. Okay. They were showing like Robert Williams slow getting up off the floor, but I think he's fine. That was a great pass from up top from Tatum to Brown, who's under the hoop. I think Adebayo kind of fell asleep a little bit there under the basket, but it's 42-29. Robinson to the rim, misses it. Brown with the rebound, going back the other way. Brown's got Robinson on him. He's looking to step back. Robinson with the block. Brown went up against Butler. Butler recovers it. So Butler's got it now back the other way. He's stepping back to set up a screen with Adebayo. Butler gets it to Adebayo, goes through his hands. White back the other way. Gets over to Brown. They're waving Rob out. Tatum's got Robinson on him. Puts it up in and over him. So it's 42-31. Crowd getting up. Got 4:47 to go in the first half. Robinson gets it to Adebayo, who's got Jaylen Brown on him. Adebayo kicks it out to Martin, over in the corner to Vincent. Vincent for three, knocks it in. So White brings up the ball. Screen from Horford over to Jaylen Brown. Back to White. To Brown. Tatum to White. White for three. Knocks it in. Little accidental offense there, but it ends up with another three. Adebayo. I mean, that was an okay. That seemed like a push off on Adebayo. That's a block. Get out of here. That's a block. Bad enough you missed the push off, but then you're going to call a foul on Rob on that? That's an awful call there. I mean, are we supposed to give Tony Brothers credit for not teeing up Tatum there? Apparently, Reggie Miller said they're having a shouting match. Adebayo knocks in the first free throw. So Adebayo sets up for his second one. Taking his time. Knocks it in. So Tatum gives up to Brown. Brown gets it across half. Horford coming with the screen. Now Smart. Brown over to Smart. Okay, they called the foul on Adebayo. Eddie put, this is a good game, but Miami probably going to cool off a little, and with no bench this far could be awkward. I still didn't like that foul on Robert Williams. Smart corner three, rimmed it out. So Adebayo gives it to Vincent. Vincent step back, gets it down low to Butler. Butler's got White on him. Pull up, missed it. Okay, I guess that was off Tatum. Let's see. Okay. And of course, Reggie Miller agrees with the call. Okay. Don't know what happened on that shot. Strus with a wild shot at the rim. Horford for three, long. White gets the rebound. Out to Tatum. He has Adebayo on him. Tatum, pull up. Missed it. Butler back the other way. Looking to get a screen from Adebayo. Was that Adebayo's third? It was a moving screen they just called. Yep, that's third on Adebayo. So Tatum bringing the ball up now. So they brought in Highsmith for Adebayo. Looks like Zeller out of the rotation for now. Gets it down low to Horford, out to Smart, knocks in the three. So 47-37, got 2:20 to go in the half. So Vincent cross half court, has Derrick White on him, gets a screen, Horford on him, step back, short, out to Martin, gets to the Butler. Butler push shot, misses. Tatum back the other way, gets it to Jaylen Brown, out to Tatum. He's got Highsmith on him, gets to the rim, lays it up and in. So we got Butler, gets it out to Vincent. He's got Tatum on him, over to Butler in the corner, knocks in the three. White back up, gets it to Smart, over in the corner. Gets the screen from Horford, up to Derrick White. And Butler jumped the passing lane, got the steal, and a loose ball foul on Jaylen Brown. All right, so they inbound the ball. Butler's got it at half court. It's got Jaylen Brown on him. Got Highsmith and Vincent coming to set a screen for him. He now has Derrick White on him. Butler gets into the lane, goes up over the top, knocks it in. 52-39, got a minute to go. Smart, cross half court, gets it over to Brown. Back to Smart. Smart, backing in Vincent, pull up over him, knocks it in. So 52-41. Butler has the ball in his hands coming up. Brown meets him at half court. Now he has Derrick White on him. That's been the matchup he's been kind of searching out the last couple of trips. Gets into the lane, misses it. Tatum has it. We got 24-23. About 2.5 second difference in the shot clock and the game clock right now. So Tatum gets a screen from Horford. He's got Strus on him. Pull up three. Short. Martin back the other way. Over to Highsmith. Missed it. So at the half, 52-41. Although this scoreboard has 54-41. I don't understand why. So we are at the half. What a half it was. So the Heat going to half. Oh, my light just fell. Sorry about that. Hold on, guys. Let me fix that. Hold on. Technical difficulty. A little bit of a timeout here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, light just fell randomly. So, 54-41. Not going anywhere for halftime. I will be here. I mean, for the Heat, could you ask for anything more? You're up 13. I mean, Adebayo has 3 fouls on him. I don't think that's that big of a deal right now. But we'll have to see. Will that affect his defense in certain situations in the second half? Don't know. The Tatum ankle is still a story because there are moments where he still winces on it. But, he hasn't had it looked at. I'm sure they'll probably look at it now that he's in the locker room for halftime. We'll see if he comes out with any tape on it or anything like that. But he made it through the half, so the adrenaline apparently is still working on him. Okay, so now this scoreboard says 52-41, which is what the game score said. So for some reason, Yahoo had it at 54-41. Didn't know why, but they fixed that. Eddie says if Miami keeps shooting the lights out from three, Denver's going to feel the hurt. I mean, I don't know, because when I look at both of these teams, because like I said, we're not going to call this game yet, but in terms of Denver, how do you feel about, I guess, Adebayo on Jokic? Could that be an issue for the Heat? And then the other way with the Celtics, I mean, I guess that's going to be Al Horford's responsibility, of course. But how do you feel about that as a defensive matchup? And in the minutes when Rob plays. So I think for both teams, it's going to be interesting to see what they do against Jokic and how effective they can be. Because we know Jokic is the head of the snake, as they say, for Denver. And Jamal Murray, who had a really good series against the Lakers. We'll see if he can carry that over into the finals as well. He was definitely a major contributor, in that series that led to them getting the sweep over the Lakers. But I think either one of these teams, it'd be an interesting, I guess, matchup for Denver. And the same thing as, like I said, Denver could pose problems for each one of these teams as well. But yeah, I guess if Miami does keep shooting from three the way that they are, because that's not necessarily the scouting report on Miami. You're not necessarily supposed to worry about their 3-point shooting outside of Duncan Robinson or I guess Caleb Martin. Well, no, Strus. I guess Strus and Robinson. But Robinson was a guy who mid-season he wasn't even in the rotation necessarily. He's kind of been forced back into things because Tyler Hero's been out. So even before that, it was kind of mainly Strus was their 3-point guy. With a couple of guys who could sprinkle in a couple of threes here or there, like Vincent, Hero. But yeah, they don't get that kind of production from three. Then yeah, they are sitting pretty right now. So we are at the half. So we got a few minutes before the game comes back, of course. So let's, I guess we'll just open up halftime if you guys want to talk about anything, or Vincent is resilient. Yeah, I've liked what I've seen from Gabe Vincent. To me, he's definitely an answer for the Heat in the case that, let's say Lowry is gone in the offseason or something. I think Vincent would be a good replacement. But we also know with a guy like Gabe Vincent, this is kind of his coming out party, because not a lot that was really known about Gabe Vincent, I would say. But now going into the next season, I'm sure he's going to be probably asked to do more on the Heat, and I don't know. Yeah, I like Vincent's game. Let's see. So I did allude to it before that Nick Nurse looks like he's going to be the next coach of the Sixers. We also have Adrian Griffin, who was on Nick Nurse's staff, is going to be the Bucks coach. Eddie says he doesn't want to be the one to miss a key shot inside the arc, but he can shoot the three. Yes. Yeah. But I think on this Heat team, that's, even if he's just a 3-point shooter necessarily, it's not a bad thing. When you have Butler and Adebayo who like to live within the paint, he's just gonna have to be ready to knock those shots down when they're given to him. Eddie put Vincent. Yes. Let's see. Looks like TNT's talking about the Celtics 3-point shooting, which, I mean, as bad as the Celtics are shooting from three, it's an 11-point game. They're a couple of threes away from being right back in. Well, they're not necessarily out of it right now, but a couple of threes and you're looking at a 5-point game. Also, I'll probably address this at the end of the game. Once again, depending on how this game goes, but a lot of the talk today has been about Brown and Tatum and splitting them up and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm still one of those who thinks that'd be a bad idea, because look at a lot of the teams around the NBA, especially teams that have an established star. What are they always looking for? That second guy to go along with the player. Because, I mean, let's look at some of the high-profile players that are kind of in the news. Damian Lillard. Everybody's like, got to get Damian Lillard out of Portland. Why? Because people will say Lillard hasn't had the best team around him necessarily. Now, I could argue CJ McCollum was a good secondary guy to Lillard. Only problem is, I think in today's NBA, if your two best players are going to be at the guard position, I think it's a little harder to win necessarily a title in today's NBA. I think the perfect match would be either two wing guys, a small and a big, or a small and a wing. And for the Celtics, you're looking at, Brown, who bounces between the 2 and the 3, Tatum, the 3 and the 4. If I'm the Celtics, I don't split those two up. I don't think it makes any sense. And technically, it's not a decision you have to make now. Brown still has a year on his contract, but of course, the thinking is try to get his deal done before his current contract runs out, because let's say he makes All NBA again next year. He may want even more money, even though there is a limit he can get, but maybe the Celtics think they could get him not necessarily up to the max, but a little bit less. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I would say keep them together. That's just me. I am not in the Celtics front office. I know earlier somebody was talking about Butler talking about going to the Warriors or something. I mean, I'd have to look up Butler's contract status. But is that, I mean, I guess I could see if that's a situation where if he doesn't get it done in Miami this year, would he be looking to move on? And if he does have, if it's going to be a trade type of thing, like what do the Warriors give up to get a Jimmy Butler? So you have like Curry, Butler, Poole. I don't know. That's interesting. Plus, we got the draft coming up soon. And a lot of the rumors surrounding the draft right now. Spurs are probably getting calls for the number 1 pick, but I got a feeling the Spurs are keeping that pick. They're going to take Wembanyama. Game will be back on in 3 minutes. Appreciate that, sweaty boy. But also looking at the draft, you got Charlotte at 2, Portland at 3, looking to possibly move out of those spots. I think this NBA offseason might be pretty interesting. But I guess to get back to this game, I'm back. I went to wash dishes. Appreciate you, sweaty boy. Heat at the half, 52-41. Celtics struggling from 3. I guess you could say that they're fortunate that they're only down 11 right now. We'll see who kind of comes out of the second half and I guess what and can execute better. Do the Heat come out extended from 11 to 15? Can the Celtics come out get it from 11 to 5? So Eddie put C's come back from dozen-point deficits so much, but it depends. But it does depend on who wants to take the 3. Tatum can, White can, Smart can, Brogdon can, but they have to decide to live and die by it. Yeah. And I wonder how many minutes Brogdon gets in the second half. Because he took, 2 shots from 3. One was an air ball. Second one was short. So you have to wonder the forearm, elbow, if it's, it's obviously still bothering him, I'm assuming. Brogdon was a guy who you left open. It was almost automatic from 3, and he's been off so badly on the 2 that I remember from him. Yeah, like I said, at the beginning of the halftime, the only foul issue right now is Adebayo has 3. I guess if you're a Heat fan, you'd have to hope that doesn't affect Adebayo defensively, which I think with 3 fouls, you're kind of fine. But if he gets like a 4th foul early on, something like that, then maybe we see him play a little bit differently. Yeah, Tatum still got to be feeling that. Yeah, he has to. But now that they're at the half, they can take a quick look at it, maybe put some wrap on it, whatever. So we'll see how he's moving once the third quarter starts. And Sweaty Boy put, hopefully he doesn't get fouled out. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of Heat fans and supporters are thinking the same thing. But yeah, so as Sweaty Boy put a little bit ago, got 3 minutes until halftime. It's got to be a little less than that now. What can Missoula do to keep keep them off the perimeter? Cohen, what is it? Cohen, how's it going? What you saying? Appreciate you for tuning in. So I think, Eddie, what you're trying to say is what can Missoula do to keep them off the perimeter? I guess you're saying Miami. I'm thinking that's your question, so that's the question I'll answer. I believe. Well, I mean, a lot of the threes that the Heat have made have been off of screen action from Adebayo. And, Celtics players not necessarily stepping up or anything like that. So I think the communication on screens has to be better because you have to communicate whether it's a hedge, switch, something like that. And they just have to be more aggressive in that action. Oh, Cohen put my bad. Oh, I mean, that's fine. And Eddie, yeah. So you were talking about Missoula. I mean, Cohen, yeah, I saw your comment about Missoula. I mean, look, as much as people got on Missoula for the first 3 games, he has to get credit for 4, 5, and 6. And so far tonight, I can't really say it's coaching's been an issue. They've been missing threes. All right, so we are back, as Sweaty Boy put it. The Heat had the ball to start the third. I mean, I guess I have to say, if you're not watching, the Heat are going right to left. But Martin, they inbounded the ball to Martin. Martin came across half court. They got a three. So now it's 55-41. Brown has Butler on him. Fade away, knocks it in. So it's 55-43. Heat lead. And looks like my scoreboard isn't updating. I hate when these scoreboards do this. So let me refresh that for you guys real quick. There we go. All right. All right. So the scoreboard's back for you guys. Yes, 57-43, Sweaty Boy. Yeah, for some reason it stopped updating, but I got it back now. Brown had a layup at the rim that he rimmed out, and Vincent and a couple of guys were on the floor, but the Heat had the ball. Vincent has Derrick White fade away, missed it. Brown with the rebound. Brown back the other way, gets up to Tatum. Tatum. And they called a travel. To be honest with you, live, I couldn't see the travel. I'd have to see a replay of that. And we don't get one. So, all right, 57-43. Vincent out to Butler. Butler looked like he walked on that one, but I don't know what's going on there. Butler lays up and in 59-43, and Mazzulla with the timeout. Heat bailout. I need a replay of the Tatum play. I didn't see that as a travel. And then I thought Butler traveled. No call. I'd have to see both of those plays. I don't know. But either way, it's 59-43, Mazzulla with the timeout. Because it seemed like Tatum was just doing a Euro step. That's why I didn't see a travel at all. I don't know what Tony Brothers saw. Which, I mean, if you're going to call stuff like that, you might as well call this a game now. Because now, because of that play and Butler's layup, which I thought, like I said, seemed like he shuffled his feet for dribbling, that's a 4-point swing. I'm pretty sure Van Gundy and Reggie Miller aren't going to talk about it. Eddie says refs a bit too involved. Yeah, and that was the one thing I feared when I heard Foster and Brothers. Because those are two guys who like to kind of let it be known that they're part of the game. And I don't want that in a game of this magnitude. Like if the Heat or the Celtics win the game, let it be because they just played better that night. I don't want to sit here and, like if the Celtics lose, look at a few calls, or if the Heat lose, have Heat fans talking about a few calls. Because it kind of takes away from what it's supposed to mean in winning a game 7. But yeah, I don't know what Brothers called and then what they didn't call on the other end. I don't get it. All right, so All right, so we are back from the commercial. All right, so showing the Tatum play. That's not a travel. And Butler walked. I mean, what is that? All right, so White inbounding the ball. Smart gets the ball, gets it back to White over to Brown. Brown gets it to White. They're in a zone. Tatum in the middle, pull up, and he was long on that one. It was a wide open look. So Butler coming up, got Brown on, gets to the rim, misses it, going back the other way. Over to White. White gets into the lane, gets fouled, missed at the rim, but that's a foul on Butler, I believe. So White at the line for two. Knocks home the first. Got Rob Williams coming in for Al Horford. Miami trying to get set at the line. Eddie put White as priceless, keeps pace, which is exhausting. Yes, definitely agree with that. I was one of those who loved the trade when the Celtics made it, even though some Celtics fans, because of how he struggled last year, weren't as excited about it. But he had a better year this year, and I think he's had a really good playoff, so I agree. I like Derrick White. Vincent with the pull up, short, rebounded by Rob Williams, gets out to Jaylen Brown. Tatum is struggling up the floor again. So his ankle is definitely an issue. But he's staying on the floor. So we'll see if he can, what kind of effort he can put in. White for three, knocks it in. So it's now 59-48. But yeah, Tatum is definitely going to have to struggle through this game. So White is now on Butler on the left wing, gets a screen, gets out to Martin, back to Butler, who's got Rob Williams on him, step back, rims it out. Yeah, Tatum is struggling to run big time now. White gets into the lane over Strus, knocks it in the foul. So unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get a classic Tatum type game seven because yeah, he's hobbled right now. That doesn't mean he can't be effective, but looks like Derrick White is stepping up right now in the third quarter. So we got 59, 51, 8:22 to go in the third. Yeah, Tatum can't really cut or anything. Martin pull up, knocks it in. So 61-51. Tatum comes off the screen, step back, gets it to Brown. Brown gets it tipped away from him. Back the other way. Martin out to Vincent. Vincent. Seemed like they had like a 3-on-2 there, but didn't necessarily go all the way at it. Butler's got Smart. Butler pull up from 3, misses it. Brown back the other way, gets it to Tatum. Out to Brown. Pull up 3. No. So now, like, Tatum's ability to get to the rim compromised because he can't move side to side. Martin fade away, knocks it in. So we got 7 minutes to go. 63-51. Tatum lobs it into Rob. Rob under the rim. Puts it in. All right, so we got Derrick White guarding Jimmy Butler. Gets the screen. Now has Robert Williams on him. Gives it to Adebayo, who's got Derrick White on him. Over in the corner to Vincent. Adebayo looking to post up Derrick White. Shoots a fadeaway, and he's long on it. Brown back the other way. Out to White. White for 3. No. Strus back the other way. I mean, you would have thought with, I guess, Adebayo having White on him, he probably would have gotten deeper possession, but he couldn't. Butler gets into the lane. Out to Martin. Back to Butler. He has Rob on him. Butler goes to the hoop, hits the other side of the rim, but it was out of bounds off of Marcus Smart heat ball. Okay. Strus. Oh, that's wow. Strus hit the 3 after the inbounds pass. Adebayo tipped it over to him. Smart went for the steal, and Adebayo was just able to get a fingertip on it. White gets Adebayo switched on to him, gets out to Smart. Smart out to Brown. Brown pull up. Nope. Rob with the rebound out to Tatum. Knocks in the 3. So 66-56, and it looks like that's kind of what Tatum's offense has got to be. Kind of spot up shooting. Vincent missed the 3. Yeah, Tatum was in the area, but Tatum can't get the rebounds. Adebayo misses a point-blank hook shot. White back the other way, knocks it in. So I think that sequence there, because I think last game, might have been Sweaty Boy who said this. When Adebayo has it under the rim, it was Derrick White on him. Finished strong. He went up with a little half hook and missed it point blank, but he should have just dunked that. So Celtics have it down to 8, 66-58. Tatum's doing as much as he can, which at this point, he's kind of just standing around offensively because he can't move too well. Defensively, he's trying to help out on rebounding, but if it's a long rebound, he's not going to be able to outrun anybody for it. But they're hanging in there. It's only an 8-point game. I mean, I don't know if with Adebayo, is it a mental thing like right now? Because even when he's posting up guys, even if they're smaller than him, they're seemingly pushing him away from the paint. And then he's taking tough fallaways or tough face-up jumpers when you would think he'd be able to back those guys down and get to the rim, but he just hasn't been able to do that. So, like I said, unfortunately, with the way Tatum's hobbled right now, kind of stinks. I wanted to see, an epic Tatum seventh game, but it's not happening. When so Eddie put when the pace gets fast, he doesn't take it strong. But I mean that play that looks awful. It was him alone underneath with Derrick White, nobody else there. Simple, go up, dunk it over him. But and that's kind of I think Eddie, you might have asked that about he Jokic type situation. If Adebayo's going to play with that kind of finesse against a Jokic, I think that doesn't bode well for the Heat either. Because on the other end, Jokic isn't playing with any finesse when he's got the ball in the post and he's trying to make a move. Also, early in the series, Adebayo was kind of most effective, kind of getting the ball around the free throw line and facing up and taking that little pull up jumper or dribble to his left or right and at the rim. He hasn't done any of that tonight. I don't remember one instance of Adebayo doing that tonight. All right, so we got 4:49 to go. It is 66-58 Heat lead. Those of you might be just tuning in. Tatum is hobbled after the very first play when he landed on Gabe Vincent's foot. He's fighting through it, but you can definitely tell where he's limited. Adebayo has it facing up Horford, gets to the Strus in the corner. Butler's got Smart. Butler's trying to back him in, gets to the lane, pull up over him, misses it. Tatum with the rebound. Yeah, Tatum can't even run right now. He can just do a nice little ginger jog. White gets in the lane, lays it up, and they call travel. Let's see. I don't know. Did he travel? I don't know. I thought he just stopped and then went up. All right. Butler gets to the Adebayo who has Brown on him. Out at the 3-point line. Adebayo throws it to Butler and shot clock violation. I mean, Adebayo had a little. You would think Adebayo would have taken Brown there. Now Jimmy Butler's hobbling. I don't know what's going on in this. I mean, Butler, I don't know. Maybe he's cramped. Brown gets it out to White. White backing in Vincent. Puts it up. He gets fouled. So Tatum hobbled. It looks like White is trying to take over right now. I think for White, White is looking at the matchup against Vincent and feels like he might be able to take advantage of that. He misses the first free throw. So Eddie put in, in terms of finesse, that describes the Heat generally. A slugfest, I don't think they survive. Well, usually when I think of the Heat, especially with Jimmy Butler, I think slugfest. White hits the second one. But I see what you're saying. Because, Struess, Robinson, Vincent, guys like that, yeah, they're not necessarily slugfest type of guys. So 66-59, 3:23 to go in the third. Adebayo gets it to Struess, shoots the three, missed it. Brown with the rebound. And a silly foul by Lowry. Let's see. They're showing Butler. Butler stepped on Derrick White's foot and kind of rolled his ankle. Okay. Grant Williams at the top. Gets it to Derrick White. White's got Struess on him. Pull up three. No. Lowry with the one-arm box out, I guess. Gets the rebound. Gets it to Martin. Lowry facing up Jaylen Brown. Gets it out to Butler. Gets it to Adebayo. Adebayo, man. He's hurting him. White's coming back. Gets it to Jaylen Brown. Brown's got Lowry on him. Pull up. Nope. Rebound with Adebayo. Gets it to Lowry. Lowry gets it to Derrick White. Lowry puts it up. No. They call a foul on Horford on the rebound. Showing Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning. So Butler gets it to Adebayo. Butler's got Grant Williams on him. Adebayo sets the screen. Butler step back. Knocks it in. So got 69-59. Jaylen Brown over to Grant Williams in the corner for three. Knocks it in. Heat defense on that one. They had two guys run at Jaylen Brown, left Grant Williams in the corner who knocks down the three. All right, so now we got Butler with the ball. 69-62, 1:35 to go in the third quarter. Butler gets the screen. Adebayo on Grant. Adebayo makes a move, gets in the lane, and he makes one. He makes the layup at the rim. Jaylen Brown back the other way quickly. Gets it out to Grant. That's such bull. The amount of screens that are set that way and they let it go tonight, that's the one they call. That's okay. 71-62. We got 1:10 to go in the third. So Martin has it. Gets it back to Lowry. Jimmy Butler setting the screen. Lowry gets into Jason Tatum. Butler's got Brown on him. Butler long on the three. Struess gets blocked and fouls Tatum. All right, so Tatum's at the line for two. I mean, as hobbled as Tatum is, he's got 11 rebounds. Knocks in the first. Center for the second one. Knocks it in. So it's 71-64, 52 seconds to go. Okay, Struess inbounds it to Martin. Butler has Smart on him. Butler facing up Tatum. Gets out to Martin. Martin up fake, shoots the three, knocks it home. Got 27 seconds to go. 74-64 Heat lead. So got Tatum. Smart coming over to set his screen. Over to Derrick White. White gets into the lane, the pull up. Ooh, rimmed it out, but he gets a foul on Highsmith. Derrick White's going to go to the line. All right, White at the line to shoot two. We got 9.1 seconds left in the third quarter. 74-64 Heat lead. Knocks home the first. 74-65. Derrick White's got 17 points on the night. Okay, White ready to shoot the second. Knocks it home. So 74-66, 9 seconds, 8, 7 to go. Martin. I think Martin double dribbles. I think Martin double dribbled on that. I need to see that play. Okay. That's a terrible camera. I can't even tell. Martin either double dribbled or he carried on that. I don't know what that was. Eddie put, Smart and Brown gotta let a player play, let White lead. You can tell it's gonna take some awareness. I think they kind of did. But the thing that, stinks for me as a Celtics fan is like I hate seeing Tatum be so limited out there. I'm not giving him credit for trying to fight through it and do all he can, but like this is a game where, you would love to see Tatum kind of take over right now. I mean, I'm sure nobody's gonna talk about that after this game if it goes the way it's going right now, but that's definitely been an impact on the game for sure. Because that play from Martin, Tatum couldn't move laterally, and that's how Martin was able to get to the rim. So Eddie put, I think he likes this challenge. He is too tough mentally. You talking about Tatum? I'm assuming you're talking about Tatum, which I agree with. But and that's kind of the reason why, I don't necessarily pay too much attention to a lot of the talking heads and, morning debate shows and stuff. I think Tatum's a really good player. I think, like you do, he's very tough mentally. But this narrative that's kind of trying to be created, like he's not the guy, he's not a guy who can take you to a title. I think it's BS on all the talking heads part. I mean, the fact that the Celtics are 5-0 in their last 5 elimination games has to say something for both Tatum and Brown. And in a lot of those games, Tatum's been like unconscious in those games, dropping 30, 40-point games. So, I mean, yeah, I don't expect Tatum to back down from this. I think he's going to do all he can in this fourth quarter to try to, will them to the win. Now, whether he gets any recognition from it, who knows? But like I said, I'm a Celtics fan through and through, and I give Tatum a lot of credit for toughing it out tonight. So Eddie put Tatum will make a play, so he will need to win by a couple possessions, so it doesn't boil down to his bad play on one guy. Rob gets it down low to Tatum, and he missed the layup. Got pushed in the back, but he missed the layup. Now back the other way. Martin, step back three, knocks it in. So Tatum's got gives it to Brown, gets a screen from Rob. Brown gets to the lane. They call offensive foul. This is go Celtics in the chat. I mean, I that's not it. Oh, I'm about to lose it. That I look. I'm guessing Heat fans will be like, "Oh, they called that on Butler last game." Butler literally dove into the guy. Okay, this is called offensive foul. I have been watching. Here we yes, it is 79-66, 11-18 to go. Tatum is hurt, hobbling around the court. It's been hurt since the opening seconds of the game, and it's definitely affected him all night. Caleb Martin is having a great game. And Butler step back. Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, the Heat kind of understand what's going on. They know they kind of have this one right now. Butler with the steal and the dunk. And yeah. This sucks. Butler with a great steal from behind. Showing that wine and cheese crowd down in Miami. I hate Miami. First time I said it this series, I can't stand Miami. But look, I mean, you give them all credit in the world. They have taken advantage of the situation tonight. They have a lead right now. What are we, like 7 minutes or so left to go in the fourth? So it's looking good for them. So, but yeah, appreciate you tuning in. Erica, I see you in the chat. See Jory watching. Thanks for tuning in. So as it stands right now, it looks like right now Heat, Denver finals. Ugh. I'm trying to see. I might do some watch longs for the finals as well. Game one's what, Thursday? I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to do a couple of games. I see Jordan trolling in the chat. Eddie, like most good high school emotional games, there's a run left in those C's. I mean, I'd be there with you, Eddie, but the way Tatum's hobbling around, I just don't see it tonight. Maybe they prove me wrong, but I don't see it. But like I said, what's up, Jordan? Spider Man looks like a good movie. All right, so a commercial break. So, like I said, going into the break, Miami understands. Look, Tatum's hobbled. They're looking to close this game out right now and punch their ticket to the finals. So, play of the game. What play? Okay. Play of the game is a set of plays, apparently. All right, so White inbounds it. It's coming up. Got Martin on him. Gets it to Smart. Over to Tatum. Tatum back to Horford, to Brown. Horford. Tatum. Out to Smart. Missed the three. And Butler with the rebound. Well, Martin had the rebound, gives it to Butler, who gives it over to Lowry. Lowry gets it back to Butler, who's got Marcus Smart on him. Butler. Oh, they call that one. I guess. Yes, Reggie Miller. He kind of extended it. Tatum gets to the lane, gets to the hoop, dunks it, and he's limping even more now. So got 83-68, 9:45 to go in the fourth. Martin with the pull-up three. I mean, he has a hobbled Tatum on him. He kind of bailed Tatum out there defensively. Brown pull-up three, no. Didn't necessarily need that shot, but so Butler came up short, chased his rebound, gets to the floor, out of bounds off of, I think it was off Derrick White. Robinson off the screen, knocks in the three. As I mentioned before, I can't stay at Miami. Only certain guys on Miami I don't like. White for three. Martin might have stepped out. I think he kept his toes in. Butler with the three. No. Smart gets it back to Brown. Brown out to White. Brown to Smart. Smart to Horford. Horford for three. Knocks it in. 86-71, 8:25 to go in the fourth. So Martin Coming back the other way, he's got Brown on him, hands it off to Robinson, gets the screen out to Lowry. Lowry's got Brown on him. Lowry with the fadeaway. Lowry knocks it in. So we got 88-71. Tatum, yeah. Tatum can't get any lift on his shot or anything like that. Okay. So foul on Horford. I thought they were showing like Adebayo walking to the line. I was like, they're not on the penalty yet. All right, so Martin has Hauser on him. Adebayo faces up, shoots it, and knocks in the mid-range shot over Horford. So we got 90-71, 7:25 to go. Brown gets out to Hauser. Back to Brown in the corner. He's got Adebayo on him. Brown lost the handle. Butler. Butler going to the rim. Missed it. Adebayo missed. And they call a foul on Tatum. Couldn't tell who they called a foul on, but Adebayo at the line, waiting to take his first one. Knocks it in. All right, Adebayo waiting to take his second. Knocked it in. Horford to Brown. Brown into the lane. Hits the tough. Makes the tough layup at the rim. Martin coming down the other way. Horford with the turnover. Going back the other way. Gets to Smart. Smart gets into the lane. Comes up short. Wally, appreciate you tuning in. How much time? We got 6:15 to go in the fourth. It is 92-73 Heat. And said, unfortunately, Wally, I think it's your first time tuning in, but Tatum got hurt first play of the game, and he's been hobbling all night. Brown's had too many turnovers, and Miami, Duncan Robinson's doing the can't hear you to the crowd. He's one of them Heat players. I can't stand Duncan Robinson. Yeah, it's cool to trash talk because Tatum's hurt, guys. So now they're winning. What? Okay, thanks. Wow. And me too. I talking Duncan Robinson. I can't stand Duncan Robinson. Like Butler can annoy me, but I can deal with Butler. But Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Can't stand him. I can't. Even guys like Vincent, Caleb Martin. I mean, I don't feel one way or the other about them. So Wally asked, how did the Heat match up with Denver? So I think the interesting is going to be, I guess it's going to come down to when the Heat go zone, Denver's ability to attack that. Now, luckily, I think with Denver, when the Heat go zone, you can kind of just put Jokic in the middle of it, throw the ball into him, and have him just do whatever down there. And I think he's comfortable with that. I think that's where at times the Celtics have struggled against the Heat zone. It's because if you put, like, if you try to get Brown or Tatum down there, that takes one of them away from the perimeter action, where you'd rather have Horford or Rob Williams in the middle give it to them. Rob, I think a few games early on, I said I think Rob Williams' next step in his game would be situations like that. If he can catch it free throw line and do face up or have some type of move from there, I think that would benefit Rob Williams and the Celtics going forward. I don't know if Denver sweeps Miami, but I would have Denver winning the series. But I mean, we can talk about that. I was going to say we could talk about that post game, but I mean, this game seems kind of over. So I will keep updating you on the game. But yeah, we can start throwing questions in the chat about the finals or whatever. Heat are too small. I mean, I think between the Heat, Denver, Boston, I wouldn't necessarily call those big teams because Denver has, Jokic. Outside of Jokic, their next big man is like Jeff Green, Gordon. They're not necessarily a big team outside of Jokic. But even then, yeah, I would say Miami is a little smaller because Adebayo doesn't have the build to necessarily deal with Jokic physically. Yeah, well, now we're highlighting Jimmy Butler. I mean, he talked tough after game 4, 5, and 6 was wrong, every one of them. And he's right for game 7, so now we're going to hype him up. So we got 5:50 to go. Celtics are down 21. I mean, at this point, they kind of have to just keep firing it from 3 and try to get back into this. Like at this point, if you knock it in some twos, it's like you don't have enough time to necessarily. Yeah, Butler just gets by Tatum because, like I said, Tatum can't move laterally defensively. Which is why I didn't understand the last couple of trips when guys like Martin and Butler literally had Tatum on them. They decided to pull it from 3. And now Van Gundy and Miller are going to sit here and probably rip the Celtics for the last 5 minutes. So Brown with the steal. Dunks in transition. Yeah, this whole game has been affected by Tatum's ankle. That's going to be, well, it should be the biggest story from this game. It won't be, trust me. I can already see Barkley after the game. He'll say, oh, the 3-point shooting. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But a lot of that you would, they call the foul on Brown there. But a lot of this game as well was like Tatum can't move offensively. He's the main guy who can get into the lane and, do all that, but he couldn't do that this game. And with his limitations, it put the ball in Brown's hand more than normal, which is where all of Brown's turnovers have come from. Oh, Wally Tyler Hero, another dude. I can't really stand Tyler Hero either. Oh God, I can't stand Van Gundy and Van Gundy and Miller. Poor Kevin Harlan's had to deal with those two all series. Because now Van Gundy's saying the Tatum injury is an excuse. Okay, Van Gundy. They've also had the Brogdon injury too. But I mean, I'm not going to use them as an excuse. I just don't like Van Gundy talking that way. The Heat have played well enough to win tonight, yes. But you have to also say the Tatum ankle injury definitely played a major part in it. All right, it's 97-79, 3:45. Heat called timeout after a turnover at half court leads to a layup. And then Kyle Lowry turned around to yell at Caleb Martin. If I'm Caleb Martin, I'm telling Lowry, hey, buddy, I got us here to this win. What have you done? Try to show me up like that. Like, who's Kyle Lowry? I mean, yes, Caleb Martin did pick up his dribble at half court, which is probably the worst place to do it outside of the corners on a trap. But Caleb Martin is the reason the Heat have this lead. So he hasn't had a perfect night. So we are just a few minutes away, 3:45 away from knowing our finals matchup. And then we can look ahead to Thursday, where we will have game one. So Pritchard is in the game. Who did he come in for? I think he came in for White. Adebayo has the ball at the top, gets it to Butler. Dunk at the rim. 99-79. Tatum back the other way. Gets over to Smart. To Horford. Runner in the lane, Long. I think that's Cornette at the scores table. I wonder if he might. Adebayo traveled. I wonder if he might be coming in for Tatum. I don't even know who he's coming in for. Pat Riley's coming down from his seat. He's ready to, I guess, party with his team. Now it's Heat Love Fest on TNT. And look, I know my city. They called a travel on Adebayo. I mean, this is going to hurt for the Celtics. I mean, like I said, I know my city of Boston, there's going to be a lot of talk about this team. I mean, that was Missoula. Yeah, okay, so Missoula, Cornette come in, Missoula, not Missoula. What's his name? Muscala. I keep calling Missoula. Muscala just hit a three in the corner. Adebayo caught in the backcourt. Then they call timeout. Eddie put With this many weapons and no run in the last 5 minutes, Mizzou, you got way too many issues. Oh snap! Chris Tucker was there. Um, well, I mean, you're limited to what you can really do offensively if your best player, Jason Tatum, can't move on the court. I mean, yes, I know Missoula's going to take a lot of heat for tonight's game. I can't do that because remember, as far as we were told, after Game 3, this team quit, which meant they quit on the coach, but then they turned around and won 3 straight. How is White not out there for all the? Because at this point the game's over and White just sat out. So yeah, they just put bench guys out there to finish up the game. Because like for me, looking at this Celtics group, I would say, yeah, now Adebayo is a big man underneath dunking. So we have 136 to go. It's 103-82 Miami. And we will have Heat Nuggets Thursday night. Is it 8:30? Yeah. Okay. Adebayo is just holding the ball at half court just for fun. Eddie put, it's a business. They are looking for a coach with more playoff success now. Endless story. I mean, they had a coach last year who didn't necessarily have a lot of playoff success, and they had a deep run. Missoula won more games this year than Udoka did last year. I look. I don't know if I can. Obviously, how do I put this? I've said all season it was a tough situation that Missoula was in. The situation that led him getting this job, and then you had Will Hardy go to Utah, who was a top assistant. You had Damon Stoudemire go to Georgia Tech. I feel like if those two guys are there, maybe this looks a little different. I don't know. But I guess I could go either way with this. Like, if the Celtics were to decide to move on from Missoula, I would probably think of it like you, Eddie, and be like, the business of everything, looking at some of the coaches that are still out there. If they were to make that decision, I wouldn't be totally upset by that. Because looking at the jobs that are filled, Milwaukee and Philadelphia, you still have Toronto with an opening, Detroit with an opening, and Phoenix? I think those are the 3 openings that are left. Phoenix looks like it could be Doc Rivers. I mean, however you feel about that. Detroit, I don't know if I've heard anything about their coaching search. And then Toronto, I don't feel like I've heard much about their coaching search either. Now, maybe because Nick Nurse is now off the board, maybe we'll start to hear about some of these other jobs now. But if you were to tell me in a couple of weeks that like Monty Williams is out there sitting around, and let's say the Celtics want to go with him, and they decide to put him in there instead of Joe Mazzulla, would I be upset by that? No. And I would understand it, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I would necessarily totally convict like Joe Mazzulla for what's happening tonight or anything. Because as bad as you're saying like he looks indecisive to me, I mean, so that's the game. Heater moving on. Uh, Butler's dapping up somebody. He looks indecisive to me. I mean, when Brown not hitting and not sitting. Too weak. So Eddie put John the Big, great show. See you next time. Hey, appreciate you, Eddie. Yo, hopefully you subscribed. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do as many finals games as I can because um, I do a few shows over on Sports Empire Network as well. On some nights, I might not be able to do a few games, but any night I'm free and there's a finals game on, I will definitely do a watch along. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in as well. Really appreciate that. So we are in a post game. I'll stick around for a little bit. We can kind of talk about. We can talk about more about the finals matchup. We can talk about this game or whatever. Um, so I will say for the Celtics, there's going to be some decisions to be made this offseason. Eddie brought up. So you bet. Appreciate that. So Eddie did bring up Joe Mazzulla. We know that's going to be a talking point a lot of the offseason. And as I said before, kind of depending on who's out there, if they made a decision like that, I'd have to see who they name instead of Mazzulla. And then, like I said, if it's Monty Williams or something like that, I'm okay with, I can understand it. But if you were to move off of Joe Mazzulla to appoint just another, I guess, unproven guy in quotes, I don't know if I would see the point of a move like that. I already know a lot of talk's going to be Jaylen Brown tomorrow, which I get it. He's going to look bad because of the turnovers. But like I said, a lot of that's because Tatum just couldn't bring the ball up. Like, I give Brown credit. He's improved his game each year, but handling the ball with pressure necessarily, he can do it from time to time, but he kind of was forced to do it for consistent stretches, and I think that's where you saw some of the breakdown in the Celtics offensively. So I think this is something I brought up during Game 5, but I wonder, would the Celtics be looking to maybe bring in a maybe established point guard necessarily? A guy who could maybe just get the offense going, try to make it easy on Tatum and Brown. I wouldn't be mad at something like that. Because I know how like invaluable Smart is. But I just wonder if they could find, an upgrade at that position. Maybe. I also wonder if next year do we see more of JD Davis in it? Because I kind of like his game, but he's just really young right now, and I don't know if that might be it might be too soon to necessarily give him that role next year. Look at Kyle Lowry in the front. I mean, he should be way in the back. But I digress. It's not Kyle Lowry bashing hour right now. All right, so they're giving out the. I think first, what do they do first? Is the Larry O'Brien or whatever the trophy's name is first, and then the MVP. I would say Caleb Martin should get it, but you already know who's going to get it. They're going to give it to Jimmy Butler because that makes for better talking fodder for the morning shows. But I think Caleb Martin's been the best Heat player in this series. But that's just my opinion. I mean, you can put in the chat who you would give this series MVP to. Talking to Autobio for whatever reason. Spoelstra? I like Spoelstra. Like, I've always liked Spoelstra as a coach. So I mean, it was brought up a little bit earlier. I think this final series is interesting. Like, obviously, they're going to need Caleb Martin to continue. It's almost 11. To continue his hot shooting because, like I said, I think Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. I'll give Gabe Vincent a lot of credit as well. I feel like those two are the most consistent Heat players right now, and they're going to need to carry that production over against Denver. So where the Heat went up against the Celtics, where you had kind of two wing players as the focal point. The difference with Denver is you're dealing with a lead guard in Jamal Murray and a low post guy in Jokic. And they gave it to Butler. Like I said, I'd give it to Caleb Martin. I'm sorry. Caleb Martin was a better player. All right, so Jimmy Butler wins the Larry Bird Conference Final MVP award. Um, so yeah, we got Heat, Nuggets. We got, I guess, looking at matchups, you're looking at Adebayo, Jokic, Butler. I don't know. Do you put like Aaron Gordon on Butler? So, I mean, look, that's the end of the Celtics season. It was an interesting year, to be honest with you. And like I said all night, yes, I'm a Celtics fan. I'll keep it real about the team. I'm not going to be one of these, people you'll see on Twitter and all that who will completely go off the deep end with this. Like, if you're going to tell me, two guys in Tatum and Brown, and yes, they haven't won a title yet, but they're constantly in the conversation, that has to mean something. Because we got a lot of star players in this league who aren't sniffing anything, but seem to skate by any, controversy or criticism, I should say. So the fact that Tatum and Brown have been to conference finals, they've been 2A finals, I think, like, young duos in the league or something, they're like the winningest duo. That means something. Yes, I would love to see Tatum and Brown eventually get over the hump and win the title, but I mean, it's not an easy accomplishment. So the offseason is going to be interesting, definitely. And hold on. So Eddie puts in here, it was 2 seasons in a row where C's beat Milwaukee, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Philly, all of them, including Miami. So we are 1-1 in the last 2 years against the number 2 in the East. We got room. Yeah. Oh, room to grow. Sorry, I saw the second part of your yes, room to grow. That's what I'm saying. Like, look, I get it. Tomorrow, when I put on ESPN, Fox Sports, and all that, I guarantee all talk's going to be, you got to split them up. You got to split them up. I'm not doing that if I'm Boston. I would just continue to shuffle the pieces around them. Unfortunately, Horford's days will be numbered in the league, even though I really wanted him to kind of win one for Al Horford because he's just a pro's pro, and I love Al Horford. But, next year, if Horford does come back and play, he definitely should be the reserve center because I think you can use him 15 or so minutes a night and be fine with production from him. I think in the offseason, I would love to see Robert Williams develop more of an offensive game. Didn't expect him to be. What? What do you think Boston does in the offseason? All right, this is a question from group chat I'm in. It's a business. I can see the C's let Jaylen Brown go, even though we shouldn't. Well, technically, Brown has 1 year left. He's just eligible for the Supermax. So technically, they could play it out next year and then do something. I don't think the Celtics want to do that because worst case would be whatever his number is now, if he makes an All-NBA next year, then that number could go up. So I think they will try to do something with Brown now. I kind of think if they don't get an extension from him this offseason, maybe he becomes a trade deadline guy, even though I would hate to see that because, like I said, I'm a big fan of Brown and Tatum together. I mean, yes, Brown's going to be, the probably overwhelming talk of what went wrong tonight because of the turnovers. But like I said, he probably had to handle the ball a little bit too much tonight because of Tatum's lack of mobility offensively. Plus Brogdon with the elbow and arm, he's another guy who's kind of a ball handler off the bench, but his shot just wasn't right. And after a while, it seemed like Missoula kind of just sat him. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily go too much into reading into Brown's line at that case. So one thing I think would be interesting is even if Missoula were to kind of stick around, would you maybe bring in like a veteran assistant coach for him? Once again, I don't even know what kind of assistant coaches are out there like that, but that's probably a benefit that Missoula could have. Because, like I said, I know it doesn't get talked about a lot, but I think the Stoudemire leaving for Georgia Tech, I think that was a big move because I think Stoudemire was a guy who was probably helping out a lot, and I wonder would they replace him with some other guy like Stoudemire? Like to be honest with you, like if Adrian Griffin didn't get the Bucks job, he probably would have been a guy that I would have looked at to kind of put on the bench. Although he was clearly going for a head coaching job, so definitely happy for him to get that job. But yeah, so I was just looking at my phone because somebody in my group chat put, "What do you think Boston does in the offseason?" I think I kind of talked about that a little bit, but I believe what they do is I think there'll probably be like a meeting of the minds between Celtics and Brown. Maybe a you know contract gets offered. If he signs it, fine. If not, then I could see a situation where rumors start going about trades or whatever. Now, even if they wanted to do something like that, like if you were to trade Jaylen Brown, what would you look to get in return? That would be my issue. I know there was all those years about, you know, like past couple of years was Brown for KD, which I got a feeling somebody's going to bring that up tomorrow and be like, "Oh, that's a move they should have made," and I'm like, I didn't like it then, don't like it now, don't need to see it, to be honest with you. So yeah, it is what it is with that. But I yeah, I wouldn't make that move. Like if I see a rumor and you're telling me it's like another young type of star for Jaylen Brown, I guess I could talk about that, but not nah. I'm not doing that. But let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, so like I said, we're in the post game. Got any questions to ask? Definitely do that. Um, Kind of talked about what the Celtics probably should do going forward. I know there was a question asked about the finals, and um, yeah, so just first thought about the finals right now. Since I did pick, Boston versus Denver back in like January, since Denver's in it, I would stick with them. I would say Denver probably in. I've seen some people talking about like Denver sweep or something like that. I wouldn't go that far. I would say maybe Denver in. I could see Denver in six. Oh, because like I really like Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., guys like that. So I just think Denver might have a little bit too much for the Heat in this series. But I've also been, you know, a big proponent of this has been a weird 2023. Would it be out of the ordinary if the Heat somehow find a way to beat Denver? No, because that's just kind of the way this year's going. But um, All while I'm talking about that, I was trying to see because I remember. Okay, so Vegas won. How about saying, I wonder if the hockey series is going to go 7 games after one team was down 3-0, just like the NBA, but no, it didn't happen. Yeah. So, like I said, Celtics fans, be prepared. Tomorrow's going to be, it's not going to be fun watching sports shows tomorrow. I guarantee that. But keep a level head because there's going to be a lot of overreaction. We already know that. That just comes with the territory of sports. But don't let don't let that kind of cloud your mind and get you thinking some wild stuff. Because we saw enough of that this series. I still look at the Kevin O'Connor report about the team fake liking each other and all this kind of stuff, which is such a stupid report. Because you're telling me the team didn't like each other. There's no way they forced a game 7. They would have just taken the sweep and then kind of went their separate ways. But a bit, but that's why it's coach's fault. He should have done better letting the bench play more. He played 8 guys. That's kind of a playoff rotation. And I've kind of come to the point where it doesn't matter what Mazzulla does, he's going to catch crap because there's a lot of people in the media that didn't want him to get the job and definitely didn't like to see the fact that Udoka lost the job, even though I can't blame the Celtics for that. So, because we know the ones who talk about that story a little bit too much for my liking. But yeah, he went 8 deep. That's what most teams go to an 8-man rotation in the playoffs. That's basically what he did. Also, we don't know what this game would have looked like if Tatum doesn't roll his ankle the very first play. I can't put that on Mazzulla. So if you're going to tell me Mazzulla's going to limit Tatum's minutes, who are you bringing in? Because I guarantee you, if he had, limited his minutes because of the rolled ankle and put like Sam Hauser out there and they get blown out, they'd have killed Mazzulla for not playing Tatum because it's a game 7. I've said this several times this year. Mazzulla was in a no-win situation to some people. Because literally, I couldn't name one person who's given Mazzulla credit for anything this year. Because when he first started, it was he doesn't call timeouts. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Even when the team was winning, he doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. They lose a couple of games, then they really talked about it. They win more games in the regular season this year than last year. He got no credit for that. He got them through the first 2 series in the playoffs. He got no credit for that. Got him to a game 7 after being down 3-0 and supposedly the team quitting. He got 0 credit for that as well. But now, like you said, Eddie, I guarantee he gets killed tomorrow in the media as well. And he'll probably get killed in the post game because those guys don't pull any punches against Mazzulla either. I mean, look, I'm not telling you he's a perfect coach because he's not. It's also his first season. Hold on. Let me pull up your comment here, Eddie. I mean, it shows he can't win a big game. If Brown's not hitting, sit him instead of let him go on a bad streak, which fuels fire that we cannot keep both. But again, he has one more year. Yeah, but we saw games. Butler struggled and wasn't doing anything. Spoelstra left him out there. You kind of have to ride with your big money players in these situations. So once again, I'm not gonna kill Missoula for that. Brown just has to hit shots. And also the way that Brown plays, all it takes is for him to like make a couple, and then he can go on a little mini run by himself. So that's. But I mean, I see what you're saying, Eddie, because kind of what you said at the end there, it's going to fuel a lot of fire for a lot of these guys on TV who are constantly just trying to start narratives. Because I mean, you brought up a couple of them. They're going to talk all about Jaylen Brown got to go. They're going to talk about Missoula's not the right guy. They're going to talk about all kind of things. And for the front office in Boston, they could either listen to that and react or stick to whatever plan that they have. Because, last time I checked a lot of these guys on TV, it's easy to criticize teams when they're sitting in their position. Put them behind a bench to coach a team, you tell me what they would do. Same with the NFL season, where I'm a big fan of what they call them, like Monday morning quarterbacks or armchair quarterbacks. Very easy to point out what stuff people should have done in hindsight. Like I said, I'm not even going at you, Eddie, or anything like that. But like I said, Missoula's first year, he went up against Spoelstra. He wasn't going to outcoach Spoelstra anyway. I mean, that's just what I think. I mean, he got past Quinn Snyder with the Hawks, although Quinn Snyder, he was only there for a few months, so can't really say much about that. I mean, Missoula's Celtics team basically got Doc Rivers run from Philadelphia, and then a really good coach in Spoelstra. So, but yeah, like I said, Eddie, is Missoula a perfect coach? No, I just don't. I just wouldn't, dump all the negativity on him necessarily. So I think something I alluded to earlier was if, in terms of like ball handler on the court, because I would have loved to see like tonight where Tatum couldn't necessarily bring the ball up if there was another guy that maybe they could put the ball in their hands and have them kind of like what Derrick White did for that little stretch. But we know that's not necessarily Derrick White's game. But if they could get a player kind of like that in the offseason, I wouldn't be mad at that. And like I said, maybe that's like J.D. Davison becoming part of the rotation next year, even though what is he, like 19 years old? I think he could do it. It's just that you'd have to live with the ups and downs with him as well. And I just don't know who's out there that they can get right now that kind of fills that role. But yeah, so like I said, gotta give Miami credit. They win the conference finals, Eastern Conference Finals, have a chance to face the Nuggets in the finals. That series will start Thursday night, 8:30. We'll see. I might be able to do a watch along for that game. I can't promise that right now, but if you haven't subscribed or followed, the channel or anything like that, please make sure that you do. That way, if I am able to, I get it scheduled. You'll know right away, and you could be, ready to go Thursday night. Come to chat with a lot of energy, which had a lot of that tonight. So I really appreciate you guys as well. Because, it'd be one thing, just me sitting here talking to myself, but, you guys in the chat definitely make the game more fun to watch. So I have to definitely shout all of you out. Also, before I get out of here, got to say, I mentioned this once before, I'm also a member of Sports Empire Network, so you can check me out over there as well. Do a show Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Thursday nights. Plus, there's other shows on there, other great people as well. So if you need even more sports podcasts and all that in your life, you can definitely check out the channel over there as well. So that's as well as here, over there. Also do a show, JJL Sports Talk, with one of the people I do, Jordan, who I do a couple of shows with on Sports Empire Network. We also have our own podcast. So like I said, JJL Sports Talk, you can definitely subscribe over there. Catch me out there as well. I'm trying to be out there as much as I can to, kind of deliver great content. So we're coming up on the 3-hour mark. I guess I'll hang around for was it like 2.5 minutes? If anybody wants to drop a question in the chat, we can definitely do that. But if not, I will, I guess, say good night and go crying in my pillow because the Celtics lost. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I can, I can accept loss. Like I said, you'll see a lot of fans who will have a hard time dealing with this. It's fine. Like, unfortunately, there's a lot of probably younger Celtics fans or younger Boston fans who have understood the winning that kind of came with Tom Brady and the Patriots for that extended period. So they're kind of spoiled to winning necessarily. I mean, I was a Boston fan when all the teams were kind of terrible. So I can process this. But I was just seeing this post, and the overreaction is already starting. But yeah, we are out to the 3-hour mark, so I think I'll get out of here because I think the chat's kind of cooled down at this point. But appreciate you guys. Look, it was a wild series. This series is going to be, I don't know, remembered for a little bit, for sure. But like I said, like, subscribe, share the channel out. Really appreciate it. I think these live watch-alongs have been, I guess, really well in terms of getting a new audience in here. So I will definitely try to do more of them. I will probably start doing some, of my episodes live like this, so you guys can definitely join me on those, and we can have some back and forth as well with those because I love the interaction. So definitely be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to do some of the finals games. If I can't, I may come on after every game and kind of do a little bit of a post-game type show, which I think could be a lot of fun. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. But thanks again. like I said, also before I get out of here, I did say I'll probably start doing some, I don't know, Red Sox games, Connecticut Sun, whatever's on that I kind of want to do watch longs of. I'm gonna start doing a lot more of these, soccer, whatever. So be on the lookout. But thanks again. Appreciate all of you. This was a lot of fun, despite my team getting eliminated. But I can't wait to see the finals. And like I said, I'm going for Denver in 6. So you can mark that down. We'll see if I'm right or not. But I'll let you have the rest of your night. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this with me to kind of close out your Memorial Day. So as I say, to end every episode, every broadcast, whatever it is, be safe out there. God bless, and I'll see you again later. Also, it's the unofficial start of summer, so all right, let's go. But I'm out. See you later.